Welcome to the deep dive. So, you're thinking about bringing a piano into your family's life, maybe, and you want to go a bit deeper than just, seeing it as furniture.
Right. Understand what it really is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What does it actually mean to have this instrument in your home? That's what we're diving into today. We've pulled together quite a bit of info.
Yeah, lots to unpack.
Definitely. Looking at, well, everything from the history, the craftsmanship, how they actually work.
To how they sounded in, that amazing 60s and 70s rock and pop era.
Oh, absolutely. And also how piano education is changing, which is key for families.
For sure.
So our goal here is really to pull out the most interesting, most relevant bits to, help you get a clearer picture if you're making that decision.
Makes sense.
And speaking of that piano magic,
Yeah.
we should mention pianolegs.com. It's a great resource online
Yeah, really useful.
for anyone into pianos, whether you're looking, learning, or just love the instrument. Especially if you connect with that sound, Elton John, Billy Joel, the Beatles,
Yes.
and that piano-driven stuff.
That so many people love, yeah. It's unforgettable music.
It really is.
And it ties into what you were saying. It's not just buying an object, is it? It's potentially bringing, well, a piece of musical history.
Yeah.
An incredible bit of engineering, actually. And something that could spark learning, shared moments for the family into your home. So yeah, let's explore why the piano lasts, why it still connects with families today.
Okay, sounds good. Let's start with that enduring appeal. I mean, you can't deny the impact the piano's had on music.
Not at all.
And for a lot of us, that connection really sparks with, well, the music from the late 60s and 70s.
That golden age, yeah.
Just think, Elton John, Billy Joel,
Carole King.
the Beatles, the Eagles, Supertramp. I mean, so much of their sound, that warmth, that depth, even the power came from the grand piano.
Those studio sounds were incredible.
They really captured something, didn't they?
And what's so interesting about that time is how those artists showed off the piano's versatility,
Yeah.
Well, you had the driving rock rhythms, right? But also those really rich pop ballads telling stories.
Yeah, the storytelling.
And those complex harmonies that just became the sound of the era. The piano was often like the heart of it all.
The core, yeah.
It created this whole sonic world that, well, people loved then and they still love now.
Absolutely. And that appreciation, it goes way beyond rock and pop, obviously.
Okay.
You look back further, classical music, Beethoven, Chopin, Debussy, Mozart. I mean, the piano was fundamental.
Foundational.
And those instruments, even the earlier versions, demanded incredible craftsmanship and gave this amazing sound quality for the time.
Indeed. And if you connect that, you see this constant thread, this evolution of innovation and artistry. The piano's changed over centuries, but its basic ability to express, this huge range of musical ideas, emotions, that's stayed the same.
So when someone's thinking about bringing one home,
Yeah.
it's not just about getting an instrument. It's like connecting with this massive musical heritage.
Right. Across genres, across time.
Yeah.
And maybe sharing that with your family.
Exactly. Okay, so you're bringing this legacy home. But what is this thing, actually? Let's peek under the hood a bit. The craftsmanship.
The inside story.
Yeah. We found this great piece that describes what makes a piano, well, sing. And one of the first things is the harp, not the stringed kind.
No, the big iron one.
Yeah, this massive cast iron plate inside. And the pressure it handles.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
And isn't it just?
Up to 40,000 pounds of tension from the strings.
40,000 pounds.
They compare it to strapping a semi-truck to each end.
Which sounds crazy, but it gives you an idea of the forces involved. It really shows what an engineering marvel a piano is.
It really does.
That cast iron harp is just fundamental. Without it, all that force from the strings would just rip the wooden frame apart.
Yeah.
It's the backbone. It lets it be tuned precisely and make that big, sustained sound.
And that pressure, it's not just brute force, is it?
No, it's about the potential for nuance. Each string, held perfectly taut, vibrates precisely. That's how you get the huge dynamic range, all the different tonal colors.
Okay, and then there's the, what do they call it? The unsung hero.
Ah, the pin block, yes.
Made of hard rock maple. Layers and layers, laminated, pressed super tight. They use this funny analogy.
Yeah.
Like Aunt Ruth's Tupperware drawer you can barely open.
Yeah, that captures the tightness, doesn't it?
It does. That's how tight the tuning pins need to grip.
And the material, the hard rock maple, that's key. It's incredibly dense, stable, Laminating it adds even more strength, resists warping.
Because humidity changes things.
Exactly. Its tight grain structure resists that expansion and contraction, which is absolutely critical for keeping it in tune over time. Those pins have to hold firm against that constant pull.
So if the pin block isn't good,
the piano just won't stay in tune. Simple as that. Definitely something to think about for long-term family enjoyment.
it really shows the level of intricate thought, the precision, even in parts you never see.
Admittedly.
And then you think, a grand piano, nearly 12,000 individual parts.
It's staggering, isn't it?
It really is, like that quote said, one part architecture, one part sculpture, and all heart.
I like that. It's that blend of engineering and artistry. Everything has to work together perfectly to make music.
That balance and interdependence.
And don't forget the other bits that shape the sound, like the soundboard would.
Right, pianolinks.com mentioned that. Usually spruce.
Typically spruce, yeah. It acts like this giant amplifier, takes the string vibrations and projects them out as the sound we hear. Then you've got the hammer felts, compressed wool hitting the strings, their density, their quality. That really affects the tone.
Softer felt, mellower sound.
Exactly. Harder felt, brighter tone, even the strings themselves. How they're made, how they resonate, it all adds up. Each piano genuinely has its own voice.
Its own sonic signature.
Precisely.
So yeah, it's definitely not just furniture for the living room.
Not at all.
You're investing in this complex, finely tuned machine with a soul, kinda.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. An instrument bringing this huge range of sound, musical possibilities into your family's life.
Okay, so thinking about families, the educational side is huge, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just having a nice object, it's the learning, the growth, the shared stuff.
And it seems like the piano's having a bit of a comeback as a foundational instrument for learning music.
That's definitely true. People are recognizing again how versatile and, well, foundational it is.
How so?
The keyboard layout, it's linear, right? Makes understanding theory scales, chords much more visual, more intuitive. Plus, playing develops hand-eye coordination, finger dexterity, even cognitive skills.
Wow.
And it works for solo playing or playing with others.
So maybe the family could play together eventually.
Potentially, yeah. Opens up those possibilities.
And we saw things like the Lang Lang Foundation's Keys of Inspiration, bringing pianos into schools.
Which is fantastic. Making it more accessible shows how valued piano education is.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting for families now is technology's role.
Right, that's changed things.
Hugely. Online lessons via Zoom or Skype mean you can find great teachers anywhere.
Location doesn't matter so much.
Exactly. And then you have these AI tools, Scoove Piano Marvel.
What do?
They give real-time feedback on your playing, like instant correction or encouragement, and they can adapt lessons to how you learn best.
Wow, personalized learning.
It's a whole new level of flexibility for families, almost like having a teacher there 24/7.
Amazing. And there are even newer things, like that Rolly Airwave instrument, using AI and motion tracking.
Yeah, finding really engaging ways to help with technique. Technology is really enhancing the whole process.
Making it more personal.
And it's not just high-tech stuff. There's also a shift in, like, early engagement.
How do you mean?
Group lessons are more popular now, makes it collaborative, sometimes more affordable for kids starting out.
Less pressure, maybe?
Could be. And methods like Simply Music, focusing on patterns, playing by ear early on, they're working really well for young kids, even kids with special needs.
Making that first connection fun and doable for everyone in the family.
Exactly. Getting them playing quickly.
So it sounds like there's this effort to balance the old and the new.
Yeah, finding that sweet spot, keeping the traditional structure, but adding modern, engaging ways in. Curriculums are changing too, including more styles than just classical, more focus on being a well-rounded musician.
Improvising, composing.
Right, understanding theory better, all built on that piano foundation.
The goal being
Nurturing a lifelong love of music, hopefully within the whole family, giving learners skills they can use however they want musically, playing classics, writing songs, just jamming along. The piano gives that really solid grounding.
Okay. Now, when you're actually looking at pianos in a shop or online, they can seem kind of similar at first, right?
You can, yeah, until you start digging deeper.
Because there's this whole world of different brands, each with its own history, its own way of building them, its own sound.
Definitely. Pianolinks.com mentions some of the big names. And it's fascinating the history behind them, the distinct personalities they develop. You've got Steinway & Sons, American, legendary, and Bösendorfer from Austria, often seen as like the giants. Rich histories in classical, but also rock and pop, which surprises some people.
Right. It wasn't just concert halls. The Yamaha C7 that was mentioned as a studio workhorse in the 70s.
Huge in studios, yeah.
And rock and pop legends used Baldwin, Steinway, Bösendorfer. It's like, these pianos have rock and roll cred.
They absolutely do. So when you hear those classic tracks, chances are it's one of those iconic brands making that sound. And over decades, each brand perfected its own methods, materials, tonal profile. That's why musicians have preferences.
Like how?
Well, a Steinway might be known for being powerful, sustaining, great for big concert halls.
Okay.
Bösendorfers, some have extra bass notes. People often say they sound richer, warmer.
Yeah.
And Yamahas, like that C7, were studio favorites because they were clear, consistent, versatile, worked for lots of genres.
Got it. And there was that interesting detail about Bösendorfer. Some post-1975 models had ivory keys.
Ah, yeah, that historical note. Important to know, though, that regulations around ivory now mean those keys might need replacing or face restrictions.
Definitely something to be aware of if a family's looking at vintage pianos. Adds another layer.
It's a really crucial point. If you're considering vintage, you need to check the regulations. But it also shows the kind of high-quality materials and craftsmanship used back then, a different era of making instruments.
Okay, so there's all this information. History, engineering, education, brands. It can feel a bit overwhelming.
You can, yeah.
What's the most important thing for someone trying to choose a piano for their family? What should they really keep in mind?
Honestly, it really boils down to making a personal connection with the instrument. All the history, the engineering marvels, the learning potential, it all serves one purpose. Making music that connects with you and your family, music you'll enjoy having in your home.
Exactly. Think about what music really moves you, right? Was it that bold rock piano sound that first grabbed you? Or the beauty of classical? Maybe you're drawn to the history of a certain brand you made music you love.
It really prompts the question, what kind of sound do you want in your home? What music do you imagine your family playing or listening to?
So you need to explore.
Absolutely. Explore the artistry, the different sounds of different instruments. It's key to finding one that really sings to your family, that inspires you all. It's an investment not just in wood and wires, but in musical experiences, family time, for years.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. We've taken this deep dive,
Yeah.
looked at the piano's rich history and music.
From 60s, 70s hits to classical foundations.
Right. We explored the amazing engineering inside, that massive iron harp, the super tight pin block, keeping it in tune.
The sheer complexity and craftsmanship.
Yeah. And we looked at how piano education is changing, more accessible, more tech integrated, lots of ways for families to learn and grow musically.
Lots of opportunities.
So as you, the listener, continue thinking about a piano for your family.
Yeah, take a moment. Think beyond just the sound. Consider the story the instrument carries, that whole legacy of music and craft. Think about the potential for shared experiences in your family. Learning together, creating music, making memories around it.
Maybe listen to some of those 60s and 70s tracks again.
Yeah.
But listen for the piano this time.
Yeah, with a new appreciation. Or maybe look up local music schools, try an introductory lesson, get a feel for it as a family.
Good idea. And just a reminder, pianolegs.com is a great place to keep exploring.
Definitely, for digging deeper into the history, the making, or specific brands and models.
It's a great resource as you make your decision. Well, thanks so much for taking this deep dive with us today.